If you follow everything happening at Manchester City and want to continue receiving complete information, in-depth analysis, and constant updates about the club, leave your like now and subscribe to the channel. This simple gesture strengthens the work and ensures that you do not miss any detail about the citizens in a season that promises strong emotions both on and off the pitch. Manchester City are experiencing a decisive moment in the European season. After navigating a revamped Champions League format that introduced new strategic challenges, Pep Guardiola's side managed to secure a privileged position in the overall league phase standings. This performance placed the club in an advantageous situation for the round of 16 draw, avoiding the need to contest an intermediate playoff stage and guaranteeing direct presence in the main knockout phase of the competition. With the conclusion of this stage, the picture began to take clear shape for supporters. City now know they will face a two-legged knockout tie against one of two possible opponents, Bodo Glimt or Real Madrid. Two completely different paths, yet equally filled with sporting and emotional implications. Manchester City's journey so far cannot be summarized merely by cold numbers. It has been a campaign marked by moments of dominance, but also by episodes of tension that tested the group's consistency. There were performances that demonstrated the collective strength of the squad, such as the solid display against Borussia Dortmund, where territorial control and rapid ball circulation highlighted the tactical identity built over the years under Guardiola's guidance. Another emblematic moment occurred at the Santiago Bernabeu, historically a hostile stage for any visitor. There, City managed to impose personality, showing competitive maturity and the ability to manage the tempo of the match in an environment of maximum pressure. It was a result that reinforced the sense that the team remained prepared to face challenges of great magnitude in Europe. Individually, the campaign also recorded relevant achievements. Erling Haaland reached the impressive milestone of 50 Champions League goals in record time, consolidating himself as one of the most decisive forwards of his generation. The Norwegian's consistency in the competition not only contributed directly to City's points tally, but also expanded the team's attacking repertoire, creating constant concerns for opposing defenses. However, the journey was far from linear. There were matches in which Manchester City dropped important points, such as the encounter with Monaco, where difficulty converting dominance into goals proved costly. At home, the defeat against Bayer Leverkusen represented another warning, showing that small lapses in concentration can be decisive in a tournament of such high level. Perhaps the most unexpected episode occurred in Norway, when Bodo Glimt surprised City with a victory in a match that highlighted the Scandinavian side's intensity and courage. That result temporarily placed the direct round of 16 spot at risk, increasing internal pressure and amplifying the weight of the final match days. The response arrived at the right moment. The convincing victory over Galatasaray served as a collective statement, securing qualification without the need for additional stages and restoring the group's confidence for what lay ahead. It was a controlled, efficient, and emotionally significant performance, as it sealed passage to the decisive phase of the Champions League. Now, with the draw approaching, the inevitable discussion among supporters and analysts revolves around the profile of the ideal opponent. Real Madrid represent a duel loaded with recent history. Encounters between the two sides have already produced memorable chapters in the competition, always marked by balance, technical quality, and dramatic moments. Facing the Spanish club would mean a maximum test of competitive maturity, demanding tactical precision and mental resilience across the 180 minutes. On the other hand, Bodo Glimt emerge as a less traditional rival, yet far from simple. The Norwegian side have already shown the ability to surprise more prestigious opponents, eliminating Inter in a dramatic tie and proving that intensity, organization, and courage can compensate for structural differences. The fact they have previously defeated City adds a psychological component that cannot be ignored. The new Champions League format also contributes to increasing unpredictability on the road to the final. The absence of protections between clubs from the same country expands the number of possible bracket combinations, meaning the European journey may present varied and unexpected obstacles at every stage. This context reinforces the importance of approaching any opponent with the same level of preparation and concentration. While the debate over the ideal opponent intensifies, Manchester City remain focused on maintaining competitive performance. The team are enjoying a positive domestic phase, yet experience accumulated across recent European seasons makes it clear that the Champions League demands even higher standards. Every detail gains amplified weight, every error can be decisive, and every moment of inspiration can change the direction of an entire campaign. Within this panorama, the squad's emotional management becomes as relevant as tactical execution. Knockout ties are often defined by specific moments in which the ability to remain faithful to the game plan under extreme pressure makes the difference. Guardiola, known for his obsession with strategic details, understands that preparation for this type of duel goes far beyond analyzing the opponent. Alongside expectations surrounding the Champions League, Manchester City are also monitoring market movements and individual situations that may influence future squad planning. Among the names gaining space in recent discussions is midfielder Elliot Anderson, whose growth in the Premier League has attracted the attention of major clubs. Over the past 18 months, Anderson has evolved from promise into a central figure at Nottingham Forest. His arrival at the club in 2024 marked the beginning of a phase of consistent development characterized by increased tactical responsibility and direct impact on midfield functioning. Throughout the 2025-26 season, this process gained further strength, consolidating his reputation as one of the league's most interesting young players. Versatility has been one of Anderson's main differentiators, capable of operating in deeper roles, organizing build-up play, or advancing to connect sectors and participate in attacking construction. He offers valuable alternatives within a single technical profile. This adaptability, combined with a mature game reading for his age, has helped broaden the interest of scouts and recruitment departments. International recognition came as a natural consequence of this performance. Call-ups to the senior national team reinforced his visibility and accelerated the cycle of speculation regarding potential transfers. In a competitive environment such as the Premier League, the rapid rise of a young midfielder inevitably activates the radar of clubs seeking gradual squad renewal. When questioned about interest attributed to Manchester City and Manchester United, Anderson adopted a direct and objective stance. He declared that his attention remains fully focused on Nottingham Forest, highlighting commitment to the current project and the importance of maintaining concentration on ongoing competitions. The message was interpreted as a demonstration of professionalism and awareness of his career moment. This response also reflects a specific scenario within Forest. The club are experiencing a phase of institutional and sporting growth, with increasing ambitions and financial stability that reduces the need for negotiations driven by economic pressure. In this context, any potential transfer would depend on offers compatible with the sporting and symbolic value Anderson has come to represent for the team. From Manchester City's perspective, potential interest aligns with a broader movement of progressive midfield renewal. The squad includes experienced players who have been pillars of recent success, yet long-term planning requires incorporating new profiles capable of maintaining intensity, versatility, and internal competitiveness. Anderson, with his energy and capacity to occupy different zones of the pitch, appears as an option aligned with this philosophy. At the same time, his trajectory illustrates how quickly careers can gain new contours in modern football. In a short period, a player can move from prospect status to protagonist and target for elite clubs. Regardless of the eventual outcome, Anderson's current moment demonstrates the strength of consistent development combined with well-seized opportunities. Meanwhile, Manchester City remain attentive to other squad situations that may influence attacking planning. One such story involves Omar Marmush, a forward who arrived at the club surrounded by expectations, and whose recent path has generated debate regarding role, minutes, and future prospects within the sporting project. Omar Marmush's arrival at Manchester City occurred at a strategic moment for the club. After standing out at Eintracht Frankfurt, the Egyptian forward was signed as a piece capable of offering mobility, pace, and versatility to the attacking sector. The considerable investment demonstrated confidence that he could add new solutions to a system already rich in technical quality, but constantly seeking evolution and unpredictability. The first months at the Etihad Stadium, however, were marked by adaptation. In a squad full of attacking options, and with Erling Haaland established as the central reference, Marmush had to deal with limited opportunities and the natural process of integrating into Guardiola's collective model. This initial phase generated external questions regarding what his role within the attacking rotation would truly be. Nevertheless, the forward's development followed a gradual trajectory. Intense training sessions, progressive understanding of tactical mechanisms, and assimilation of collective movements allowed Marmush to begin finding spaces to demonstrate his qualities. His characteristic of attacking depth, combined with the ability to operate in different positions across the front line, began to be viewed as an important resource in matches requiring variation in attacking dynamics. A turning point occurred after his return from the Africa Cup of Nations. The period away from the club was followed by a sequence of more influential appearances in which Marmush showed renewed energy and willingness to assume protagonism in specific match moments. This response coincided with a context in which Haaland faced increasingly intense, often double marking, requiring alternatives to maintain attacking firepower. Guardiola then began exploring more fluid formations, with constant positional rotations and use of width to disorganize opposing defenses. Within this scenario, Marmush proved useful by offering acceleration, vertical carrying, and finishing ability in quick transitions. His presence helped expand attacking unpredictability, a crucial factor in a season marked by simultaneous battles across multiple competitions. Manchester City remain involved in the Premier League title race while also maintaining ambitions in domestic tournaments and the Champions League itself. This intense calendar demands squad depth but also creates an internal competitive environment where the fight for minutes becomes inevitable. The arrival of new attacking reinforcements and the presence of young talents such as Jeremy Doku and Savinho intensify this competition, turning each on-pitch opportunity into a moment of individual affirmation. It is within this context that reports emerged regarding possible Barcelona interest in Marmush. The Catalan club, amid ongoing sporting reorganization, are evaluating alternatives combining technical quality, versatility, and financial feasibility. Compared to other higher-cost targets, the Egyptian forward appears an attractive option for bringing experience in competitive leagues and adaptability across attacking roles. The prospect of a future approach raises strategic questions for all parties involved. For Barcelona, it would represent the opportunity to incorporate a rising player capable of contributing both as a starter and within attacking rotations. For Marmush, it could mean the chance to assume a more central role in another project, especially at a career stage where regularity and protagonism gain weight in decision-making. From Manchester City's side, the situation is analyzed with balance. The club show no active intention to negotiate the player, recognizing he remains part of planning and may play a relevant role throughout the season. However, City's market policy historically combines sporting competitiveness with financial pragmatism and respect for players' individual ambitions. Should a scenario emerge in which all conditions are considered favorable, conversations would not be ruled out. This dynamic reflects a recurring dilemma within elite squads, maintaining sufficient depth to compete on all fronts without compromising player satisfaction and development. Marmush's case symbolizes this delicate balance between collective strategy and individual trajectory, illustrating how future decisions may be influenced by both performance and competitive context. While debate surrounding the attacking sector remains open, another name has gained relevance in discussions involving Manchester City's midfield, Felix Nmecha. Developed in the club's own academy, the player followed a path that exemplifies the complexity of talent development in high-demand environments. Nmecha left Manchester in 2021 in search of more consistent opportunities in professional football. The decision, common in young players' careers, allowed him to find space to evolve away from immediate pressure for results. His spell at Wolfsburg represented a consolidation period in which he gained rhythm, confidence, and experience in a competitive league such as the Bundesliga. Subsequently, a move to Borussia Dortmund marked another leap in his trajectory. At a club known for developing talents and providing a stage for technical growth, Nmecha expanded his repertoire and assumed an increasingly relevant midfield role. His performances as a box-to-box player, combining physical capacity, technical quality, and tactical discipline, attracted international attention. The player's evolution transformed perceptions of his potential. What was once viewed as promise began materializing into consistent performances against high-level opponents. His ability to contribute both in ball recovery and attacking construction became a differentiating factor, particularly in modern football that values complete midfielders. This progress inevitably reignited interest from English clubs. Manchester United, Chelsea, and Tottenham appear among observers attentive to the player's situation, while Manchester City also monitor the development of someone deeply familiar with their culture and methodology. The possibility of a return to his formative club carries symbolism and prompts reflections on career cycles and reunion opportunities. Borussia Dortmund, in turn, recognize Nmecha's growing value and have set a high financial valuation, reflecting both performance and market demand. Additionally, the German club are working to extend the midfielder's contract, demonstrating a clear intention to keep him as a central component of their sporting project. For Manchester City, any movement in this direction would involve strategic considerations. Guardiola's midfield structure has always undergone gradual adjustments, seeking balance between control, intensity, and creativity. The potential incorporation of a player with Nmecha's profile could represent continuity in this process of progressive renewal, adding energy and versatility to a sector fundamental to collective functioning. At the same time, an operation of this magnitude would inevitably spark debates about past planning and future priorities. The return of a homegrown player following external appreciation illustrates how individual trajectories can intertwine with institutional decisions, creating narratives that transcend the purely sporting dimension. Observing all these stories together, it becomes evident that Manchester City are experiencing a moment of strategic transition within a still highly competitive phase. The team continue contesting titles, maintaining elevated performance standards, and projecting ambitious campaigns, especially in the Champions League. Simultaneously, market movements and the growth of specific players indicate the club are also looking attentively towards the future. The definition of the round of 16 opponent in the European competition, the possible evolution of Elliot, the situation of Omar Marmush, and the monitoring of Felix Nmecha form pieces of a broader scenario. Each of these narratives reflects different dimensions of the same project, competing in the present without losing sight of building tomorrow. For supporters, following this set of developments means experiencing a season full of expectations, debates, and projections. Contemporary football is not limited to the 90 minutes on the pitch. It extends to backstage decisions, market strategies, and the continuous development of talents who will shape the next chapters of the club's history. If you want to continue following complete analysis, constant updates, and everything involving Manchester City throughout this decisive season, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any news.